Uh, yeah. Um, yeah. There's two bids.
Nice.
I'm working on them. I just it's been about a about a week. I'm like, nope. I'm gonna wait for Josh.
Well, you got the link to schedule with me otherwise, right?
That I think that's true.
So the one link you would have got the one time may not. No, actually, I changed it because I made it accessible just for you that one day. So it should be that same link.
Mm,
So yeah, anytime you need to schedule, just jump on there. There's only a limited amount of space through the week for training calls like that. But because you're in the group, you're welcome to jump on and get on that calendar at any point.
oh, okay. Which link or where did you send the link?
It would have been your original one when you booked the one-on-one with me.
Was it through email?
Yeah, you may have got it from Min too. That's probably where you originally got it, was from Min. Let me see if I
Yeah.
can link here. Cleaning SMB. I think this is it. Let me double check. This is the right one before I post it for you. Yeah, this is the right one. So I'll drop it in the comments for you.
Thank you, sir.
Lisa, yes. Okay. Yes.
I have to go a little bit. One sec.
Good morning. Welcome in. Looks like you're new to the group. I don't think we've talked before, so welcome on in. You working
Hey,
on?
how's it going?
I'm doing well. You working on any bids or anything right now?
Yes. What's up, man? It's me. Right, man.
Oh, hey, Rod. Yeah,
I
you
didn't
got
realize I didn't switch the email.
You just
Yeah, man.
throwing me a curveball over here.
Yeah, man. We actually went on this big walkthrough yesterday. Another construction cleanup.
Nice.
So yeah, we it's so funny, right? The day this got booked, I rode past the old guy. Remember the last construction cleanup we were talking about.
Right.
So I just, because the street to get to my house, I had to ride past that building. So I'm like, yeah, man, what happened? You straight ghosted me. He was like, yeah, man, this bigger company, they wanted to go with someone else. All right, cool. But like, I talked to, so the guy, our system, it allows you to book yourself and then we'll give you a call. So I called the guy and he said that that same dude recommended us. Oh, wow. All right, cool.
Nice.
So I had met this guy at one of the offices I clean every week. He
Mm-hmm.
was doing construction in there, and I noticed his wife was cleaning up like right after him, like instantly. So I'm like, oh yeah, they must do construction cleanups. It must be a part of their, she's doing one right now, technically. So I invited them out, and man, hopefully we can take this far because now we got someone who could do the construction cleanup versus me trying to find, a bunch of people.
Nice.
Um, we did the walkthrough yesterday, and it's coming up to like 26K, and that price is going to take it up to 36. So I'm like, yeah, but we not overdoing it, as far as the price.
Are you commercial or residential with this particular construction cleanup job?
Oh no, this is commercial. This is
Commercial.
big, like one of the big skyscrapers downtown.
Right.
So what's going on here in Baltimore? They're converting a lot of those buildings into apartments.
Right.
So yeah, that's what they're doing now.
So these are turning into apartments then?
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yep, they gutting them out, fixing them up to apartments.
They making I guess they're going to be fairly nice units then if they're all going to be downtown too. I bet that'll be a nice little spot for apartment setup.
Oh yeah, they
Is
all.
it doing shops on the bottom level and then apartments, or it's all apartments?
Um, it's all apartments, but at the base in the basement, it's gonna be like offices. So I'm guessing there'll probably be written out offices to businesses and
Right.
stuff. Like 18 offices in the basement.
No, that makes sense. That I mean, ideally, that makes the most sense for city is have a business and then above it have all your apartments. So, what kind of square footage are you looking at? I mean, if you're 26,000, you're going to be in excess of 100,000 square feet as far as what you're cleaning.
I'm sure it is, but I did the guy. I kind of let him lead so he could see what he could do, and I was gonna take that in the car. But yeah, I'm sure it's over that. For sure.
I got you. Well, I mean, just make sure not to
It's actually,
either on stuff like that.
yeah, it's actually bigger than that one building we went to, and we quote that like 20,000 or maybe like 25, something like that.
Right.
It's definitely bigger than that building. So yeah, it's like let me give you the breakdown of what I know. It is so the first floor has about um the second to the sixth floor has 18 room each. So that's 90 rooms total. And of course you got hallways and stuff. And then on the sixth floor, um on the sixth floor, how many? It has 18 rooms too. But four of those rooms are are big.
You said 18 rooms. Is that what you said?
Yep, each floor has, besides the first floor, each floor has 18 rooms.
Gotcha.
But
So
on
you're
the sixth floor, four of those rooms are like bigger units.
right.
And then the first floor, it has six apartment rooms, but it has like a bike room, a mail room, a trash room. And then, of course, the basement has 18 offices. And then it's like a stairwell on the left, the right, that starts from the first floor all the way up to the seventh. It's a pretty big building, for sure.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, it sounds like a good size. I mean, you say even those rooms are even 100 square feet each. You're in excess of 100,000 square feet, which most likely you're gonna be in excess of 150,000 square feet. Just saying, floors 2 to 6. If you got 18 rooms in each, so you'd have 108 or 107 rooms. So 107 times 150. And you'd have, well, that ain't right. 107 times 150. All right. I must have did my math wrong somewhere along the way, but it's only saying 16,000 square feet, but that doesn't seem right. 150 square feet times 107 rooms. Guess it's possible to only be that, but that seems awful low for a building that size.
Yeah, I know it's
So yeah, I mean, yeah, you've got a decent amount of work going on there, and so is the guy going to be able to handle it? You said it's just a guy and his wife that's working in it.
Oh, they said they got a crew. It'll
Oh,
be
nice,
like
nice, nice.
it was like somewhere between 8 and 10 people on each floor.
Nice. Well, you guys will be able to hammer that out in no time too.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
awesome.
well, this is the thing. We gotta find out if we could do it when they completely finish, or because the guy wants to avoid, the punch list and stuff we were talking about.
Yep.
We want to avoid going through that.
Yep.
Just have them done. But we also thinking about, if they done the seventh and sixth floor and they done punched it out and everything, let us go in there while you working on the other floors.
Right. Yeah, that's always the toughest when you got apartments like that is, especially those. There's so much in a punch list that's going to happen. You're almost better off to be like, hey, this is the dollar amount. We do it once. You need us to come back. It's either X dollars per apartment or X dollars per hour. At least that way if they're calling you back, that you're getting paid. And they are also aware because they're not they're not screwing up all your work while, right after you're finished.
Right.
But that's definitely hard when you have building that size. You're either going to have to get your GC, your site foreman, or site supervisor in every room saying, we're done, mark it off, check it off the list. Now, you could probably go that route too, is actually have a list that they initial off. We're done with that, done. We're done with that, done. So that way, when they call you back and say, well, we got a punch list, be like, nah, right here, you said you were done.
Hmm.
We really just want it when it's all completed. That would be kind of the best thing.
That is always ideal, and I don't know if
Doesn't always happen.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe 2 times in my career, I've managed to have it where I wasn't working around somebody, where it was in and do it and be done with it, and not have to come back with a punch list. I think maybe twice in what 20 plus years. But if you can get them that way, that's definitely ideal. Plus, it doesn't slow you down. Having to work around people and move in and out of rooms that people are in is such a slowdown.
Yeah, definitely. But that's what's going on with us so far.
Nice.
Debating if we should. I mean, I'm kind of leaving it up to them. But if we should, he was basically asking, is it okay, using his own products, or do we have like a list, something that he want us to use? So either way, they're paying for it.
Right.
But I'm like, man, I don't think we need to do all that, not for you guys. I just basically told them, like, make sure you cleaning that floor is neutral cleaner. You're using cleaner for what is it meant for, not like fabuloso.
Right. Well, I mean, if he's done a lot of construction cleanup, which it looks like he has, and it sounds like he has, then I mean, I'm personally one to say if your products are working and they're working good, then keep using them.
Yeah.
And unless you're running into this is a LEED certified building, we have to have specific products. Well, that's a different story. But if you're not into that, I'm one to say if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
He knows both sides because he does construction. Really, his wife or girlfriend needs the cleaner, so that's cool. They know,
no,
like,
that's good for sure. Hey, you're not. You guys don't cover. You're in Baltimore, so you don't cover like Jersey, Philly, any of that, right?
nah, nope, nope.
The
We
only
have
reason
been-
I'm asking is, I guess to make a long story very, very short, I designed a website for somebody and they stopped paying the hosting fee. So I closed down the website, but I just left it open where leads are still coming into it. And once in a while, I still get a lead. Like one just popped in right now for post construct. I think it was for post construction is what it said. I just lost it on my watch, but for that area, and I'm like, well, that seems like a waste. I mean, I've burned several good leads on that because it's like, well, like one was for the city. I reached out, I couldn't find anybody in the area to take it. Obviously, I'm not going to give it to the person who hasn't paid their hosting fees. They stuck me with the bill. So here I am, like, okay, well, if somebody's got it. So if you're watching this and you're close to today's date of the 10th of October, in 2023, I have a lead if you're anywhere around the Philly area.
That's awesome. Wow.
Nice. So Javier was telling me before you jumped on the call, Rod, he's working on a couple of bids himself as well.
Hey, what's up, Javier? How you
Oh,
doing?
what's up, Rod? I didn't realize that was you, Rod.
Yeah. I forgot to change the email.
I was like, oh man, this guy sounds familiar, but I don't know who it is.
Yeah. What you working on now?
I got a little bid for a little. It's a church to be deep cleaning 2 times a month. I don't even know if I'm still. I think I might have passed the deadline on that one. But there's another bid as well. It's 2 giant schools for next year. They're both are roughly around 90,000 square feet, and they're gonna remodel the entire school. Both of them. So they also. I'm trying to figure out my pricing for one for stripping and waxing, and then another one just for waxing.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
Nice. So let me pull up this sheet here so we can talk a little more in depth on that. And I don't think I've built into this sheet yet just a straight up waxing price, but if not, we'll build it in now as we're talking. As soon as I find this sheet, I'll be all right. So the school, the remodel, it's just floor stripping and waxing. It's not, you're not doing any of the construction cleanup. You're not doing anything else like that.
Nope, they want all 3 phases of the clean, and then after it's all done, wax the floors. The stripping and waxing was for the little church.
Oh, stripping and waxing was for the church. I'm sorry. I thought that was for the schools. Okay.
The schools is waxing.
Gotcha. So this is the problem they're going to run. They may run into with wax only, right? So with new construction, there's a sealer on the tile. You're supposed to get it off before you wax. Now, some people do, some people don't. That's fine as long as you clean the floor good. The problem is, depending on how long they're doing to work on this school, their foot traffic's going to peel it in spots, and then you can't just wax it because it'll look like crap. And I'm speaking on this because about 3 years ago, I got a call from a company that was doing a school in 2 counties up from me. So it was in the middle of nowhere of North Carolina, in between North Carolina and Tennessee, basically Stickville. So I go out there and he's like, yeah, my crew that was cleaning, they did fine. They auto scrubbed, they waxed this. Why does it look brown here and here and here? And he's walking me down the main aisles. And I'm like, well, that's because that's new tile. You just laid it recently. This is tile that's new, but you laid it months ago. And I was like, there's no sealer on this part. On that part, there's still sealer. And that's why you got this brown look between the two, because there's no sealer and you waxed in dirt. And over there, it's brand new tile.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how'd you know that we laid this just recently in this? I'm like, because of the discoloration in it. I was like, you guys wore off all the sealer in this foot traffic area through here, and that's what caused that. The only way to now tie it in is to strip and wax the whole floor.
That makes sense.
Now, at that point, it was a whole school, but we were able to narrow it down to basically just the hallways, which was still like 12,000 square feet of tile. So it was like, dude, yeah, we can do it, but we have, we're going to have to strip it down, which now you're not looking at this is just waxing and 10, 12, 15 cents. This is, we have to strip it and wax it. So you're looking at 50 cents.
Ouch.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're saying, and we were able to salvage it. Well, at least it wasn't the whole school, because if it would have been the whole school, you would have been talking like $30,000. At least it was only that, the tiled area. So I think we whittled that. It was like 12,000 square feet, and we managed to whittle it down to somewhere around $4,500 for it.
Man.
But that's still a pretty big bite when you're thinking, $500-600 we're going to get somebody to come in here and wax for. Oh shoot. All right, let's get this thing. So we need post-construction. You're doing all, so they're actually going to have you in all three for phases then for the post-construction.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to figure out if my pricing is decent. For all three phases of cleaning, according to my calculator, should be around 28,300.
Yeah, you're pretty in there. So right, so average that's at 25 cents right here. This one, 22.5 with 90,000 square feet. Now that being said, that doesn't take into account the three for phases, right? So you're coming in about $5,000 higher than that to say that you're doing phase one, which is going to be clearing a big chunk of actual debris, and then you're going to be doing a final, which so it's your punch list without any additional revenue. You're probably right in that realm. You're probably pretty close, because that would put you at like 28 cents probably.
Which that's the total for all three phases, but in my final clean I'm also including glass and windows. Should I not do that?
This is a school, so yeah, you're going to have to include the glass and the windows in that. Are you not cleaning them at any other point during the? You're not doing it, obviously not in phase one. You're not doing it in phase two. You're doing it in the final in phase three.
Well, okay. So what I meant is rough is phase one, final is phase two, and then touch up is phase three for me.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
So, but the windows would be clean. The windows and glass would be cleaned in the final clean.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's pretty standard to have it cleaned at that juncture in where you're talking. That's pretty standard. Yeah, because you wouldn't want to do it too soon, because then they're gonna get overspray and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Windows. So yeah, where you're talking sounds right. And then obviously when you're coming back for your touch ups, your punch list, whatever you're calling it, then you're going to touch up whatever it needs to. So if you see windows on there with smears or something, obviously you'll hit those on your way through.
Yep, exactly.
So I mean, I'd say, I mean, you're under 30 cents. I would definitely see if they're running a tight budget, so you make sure you're careful around that. Now, that being said, don't gouge yourself either, because if you're doing three phases coming in at 25 cents, you're not going to make nearly the profit that you should, because you're going to be in that building three different times. Whereas that 25 cents is usually based off final clean and a small punch list. So your $5,000 difference is going to be, and you may be able to tweak that a little bit, saying how long is it actually going to take me on this first one? What exactly do they want in phase one?
Phase one would be rough cleaning, which is clearing debris.
Just picking up big stuff and just getting
Getting
the
the floors ready.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the question is, at 90,000 square feet, is can you tweak that a little bit? Is $5,000 sufficient for them not to say, oh no, you're over budget, and still make profit? Can you tweak it down a little? Can you tweak it up a little? I think right where you are, when you say you've got 3 phases in there, you're probably in the ballpark.
That'd be good to know. Shoot. So I see that your production rate is 320. I put it at 225 because I'm also including window cleaning.
So this one production,
Oh, so I was looking at the 320.
160,
Okay.
and this one is 320 or 300, excuse me. So this is a 300 square foot production rate. This is a 160. Really, with post construction, you're between 200 and 300 square feet most of the time. That includes windows.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming the windows are actually where you can reach them, you're not having to go outside, climb up a floor. You're not on a lift. This is assuming that the windows are either going to fold in or they're ground level. So as long as you're falling in that, you're probably between 200 and 300 square feet per hour.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. There was actually only one area, which was the school cafeteria, that had higher windows, but I know that we could use a telescoping pole on that one.
Right. So, and then the outside, a little trick for outside windows is if you have access to water, like a water hose, you can put your Dawn in your bucket. If you use Simple Green or Tri-Base, put it with it. Put some Jet Dry, so the stuff that you put into your dishwasher to make your dishes sparkle. Put like 2 tablespoons or 3 tablespoons per gallon of water in that. Then when you scrub it on there, you got 2 things you can do. You can either take a hose and hose it off, because now with the Jet Dry, what happens is it makes the water molecules so much smaller, they just beat off and roll.
That's so cool.
Most of the time, you don't have to do much with it. It's going to dry most of the time without water spots. Now, that being said, you can also squeegee it if you wanted to. Just do a quick squeegee and not worry so much about your drip lines on the side. Just make sure your bead across the top is dry, so it's not running down again.
So, okay. So you get your bucket,
Mhm.
you put it with all your concoctions, Jet Dry, Dawn, maybe Simple Green, I'll just say I'll use those 3.
Right.
Put it on your, not the squeegee side, but the cleaning side of the pole. Wipe the window.
Yep.
Hose it down, and
Mhm.
then dry it off with this, or squeegee it.
Well, you got 2 options, right? So I'm going to take my scrubber. I'm going to scrub the window. It's all soapy. I can see it. Now I can either squeegee it, or I can take the hose to it. I don't have to do both.
Oh, okay.
So the hose is especially for outside and higher windows, it is going to save you time, because you don't have to squeegee, tap your blade, or bring it back down, wipe your blade, and go back up again. You just hose it. Start at the top, hose it, wash it down. Now you can do a test spot with that too to see, is this going to work? It's going to depend on how hot it is. So at least you're not in the heat of the summer in Texas right now, so you're all right on that part. It also depends on how cold it is, right? So if you're up north where Rod is, you're going to have to stop doing that by early November. You're not going to be able to do that anymore. But you got a couple of variables on that. But if you can do it that way and it's not leaving spots, so test a window or 2 windows. And if it's not leaving spots, rock the whole outside that way.
Wow, that's awesome. I never would have thought of that. That's super. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, I mean that definitely helps, especially if you can get you can get up to it with a pole, because it's still tough. If you're 10 feet in the air or 15 feet in the air with a pole, it's tough to get it squeegeed properly, especially when at that point you're working around shrubs and bushes and trees and everything else. It's pain. So if you can get up there, at least get soap on it and hose it down, and it look halfway decent. And that's the other thing too. If there's not a second floor that they're actually standing on, can look out it, even if there's a few spots, it doesn't matter. Nobody's going to see it.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing. It's just windows. You can't even get to it.
Yep. So yeah, you're good to go on that end. The inside is going to be you're going to make up for the time you saved on the outside by the inside, because it's going to take you twice as long to do them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But when you're getting on the inside, cut your water down. Like we talked about before, cut your mix down on the inside for your post construction with either Windex or alcohol or both, because that's going to help cut through any of the paint overspray and a lot of the extra dust and debris that's on the windows.
Do you use the ammonia-free Windex?
I don't worry as much about it because I don't put that much in it. I put like a cup of it for gallon. So I don't use that much, but it's just enough to help cut through the additional paint spatter or overspray and other things. It just helps cut through it quicker.
So you put a cup of Windex, a cup of alcohol, and a gallon of water or something like that?
I put a cup of Windex. I'll put my normal ratio of Dawn and or Simple Green. And then I'll put, I don't know, probably like a quarter cup to a half a cup of alcohol. Because the alcohol does two things for you. It also helps clean, but the window dries quicker.
Oh, yeah. Mm.
So, and that's what I want it to do, is I want it to dry faster, because that way there's less likely it's going to streak, that because I've missed a bead of water somewhere that rolls down the window.
Yeah. So this is what you use to clean the interior side of windows.
That's on construction cleanup.
Right.
If it's not construction cleanup, I don't add all those things together.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Construction. And this is to a gallon of water.
Per gallon, yeah. So whatever you make up, like what I do is I've got the rectangle bucket that my scrubber fits into.
Right.
I'll put like 2 gallons, 3 max. Usually with construction, I do between 1 and 2 gallons, and I dump it more frequently, because when it starts getting dirty, I want to make sure that scrubber is clean, so I'm not putting debris on the next window. I want it to be clean, so I'll change that water more frequently.
Makes sense.
So you got to give a wax price too for that school, like a wax only?
Yeah, but now that you told me about the the sealer, I can try to educate him on that with the
Well, I mean, this is the thing, is you can give them a wax only price. The thing with that is make sure that you walk through, you say, okay, look, I can give you a wax only price, but this is the thing. We have to walk through, because if your sealer is busted in one spot, that's going to make everything look like shit. And there's no way you can just touch this one spot up to blend the rest. There'll be a clear line that is there at that point.
Yeah. Okay.
Now that being said, if they lay stuff down, or I don't know with this one particular school, I think that they ran into some sort of complications and it drug out the length of time that they were doing, which may have been the other cause of it, is they had additional foot traffic on it than they weren't planning on. So that's the other thing, is you may not come to that point. So to have them with a price for the wax only would be fine, as long as either you can distinguish beforehand and know that ain't gonna work, or pull somebody else in that can help you with that, or that they understand if they go with a wax only price and then it's after the fact that you're like, oh, there's a bunch of browning in the floor. That's because you guys messed up the sealer.
Okay.
Who's paying for the wax? Are they paying for the wax or are you paying for the wax?
Well, I'm assuming I would. I mean, they just have me do the work, and I'll just charge whatever. I mean,
Gotcha.
quote whatever.
So you're probably like just ballpark figure, you're probably between 10 and 12 cents to wax. Hold on. I just bid this out actually recently on a job. So let's see if I can find this job and I'll tell you what I bid it out at. Because I went through all the numbers to figure out the actual cost of wax, how much wax I could put in a square footage. I mean, it probably spent a solid hour actually coming up with the actual equation that I used. Let's see what I bid here. No, let's see, wax only 12 cents. Wow, it was higher than I thought. I bid it at 12 cents for 2 coats. Wow, that's higher than I thought it would be. So what I did for a breakdown is I'm roughly between 50 and 60 cents when I'm quoting strip and waxing. So what I did was I said strip only on this particular case was 41 cents and then wax was 12 cents. So that put me at 53 cents for 2 coats of wax. So my thought was next, if I did 2 more coats, those next 2 coats it's not gonna take as much to apply 2 more coats. It's not going to take as much wax. So that put me back up to about 60 cents at that point. So you could probably do 4 coats, which is what you're going to want to do in a school at probably around 18 cents or 20 cents.
You said 4 coats?
4 coats is probably what they're going to want.
Yeah.
Now that's the thing is you got to figure out that some will say, no, we want 6. Which case, like, okay, that's going to cost more. Some are like, oh, it don't matter. We'll do 2 or we do 3. At the end of the day, what you're supposed to do is say, okay, you look at the solids of the wax. So say it's a 25% solid. You're supposed to get that number to 100%, right? So you put 4 coats on it. 25% solid wax, 4 coats equals 100. Most wax are between 18 to 20, and then upwards. I've seen as high as like 35% solid. That gets a little more tough to actually apply it that way because it's a thick consistency.
So when you wax, you literally just grab, your flat head or whatever for waxing. You just dip it in the wax and you just put it on the floor. That's it.
It's a little more complicated than that.
I mean,
yes. I don't dip mine. So there's probably 15 different methods for waxing. So probably a quick rundown, right? You've got the old school method is you put a trash bag in your mop bucket, you fill it with wax, you get a brand new rayon mop, you dip it, then you wring it out, then you put it on the floor and you mop across it. You don't want to see it bubbly. You don't want to see it soapy. It needs to be a smooth consistency. If it's bubbly or soapy, you've got too much wax. Wring it tighter. And then you box out your area and you wax. Now, that being said, that's slow. That's a lot of work on the back. When you're saying you're laying out 90,000 square.
Oh, yeah. Ouch.
That you will be worn the hell out before the first coat's done. All right. So the way now, second way, they've got a dip system with a dust mop head. So it's an 18-inch dust mop head, dips, you pull it up, drains off the excess, you slap it, you go. Roughly 200 square feet per mop is what you roughly get on that. Now, that's good. That lays it thick. My opinion, I like using a flat mop because I'm going to go twice as far with half the wax, right? So I'm saving a ton of money by using a flat mop to wax with. That being said, there's a couple different ways you can do it. They got a backpack system that feeds through the wax, feeds through the handle onto the floor. You can dump it directly on the floor, or you can make like a puddle and push it. There's a couple of different ways to do that. So my preferred method is I get a garden waterer. I take off the spout, so it's just an open end. I'll fill that thing with water or with wax, excuse me, and I'll dump myself clear lines that I can smooth from. So especially if you're doing a haul, right? You dump it down. Let's say a haul is 6 feet, so you could wax the whole thing in one shot. You dump it down offset. So if you're right-handed, you'll probably want to either dump it offset to the right or offset to the left. And that way you're dragging your mop through it. You box your area for your edges, and then you're dragging your mop through every push, back and forth, back and forth. You're just dragging your mop through it. Now, that being said, that's not the correct way to do it. That's not the way you should train people to do it. You're supposed to do with a leading edge. So you pick a side of that mop and you lead with it. And as you come to an edge, you figure 8 and come back around. When you're waxing 90,000 square feet, that's not going to happen. Your back is going to be knots before you're done with even half of that. Your back is going to be in knots. So I'm telling you, as a quick way, is you just draw that bead and go side to side. You just push that mop back and forth and back and forth. And you're doing the same concept of the figure 8, because the figure 8 wants to overlap so you don't miss. This is doing the same concept, because as you're pushing this way, you're pushing over the wax, and then you're drawing back over the wax again, but your mop is overlapping each area. The only reason why figure 8 is better is because if there's dirt on the floor and you're leading with one side of your mop, you're constantly dragging that dirt down the floor and pushing it away from the new wax. Whereas the way I just explained to you, you just pushed it into the edge.
Okay.
But it's a sacrifice you make to not, not kill yourself.
There's no machine for waxing. I'll invest in whatever I need to.
There are two, and I can't remember the name of the one. Wax something another. I cannot remember the name of it. The second one is made by Aztec. Let's see here. Aztec. What's the name of that? Wax. See if I can find it here.
Floor wax machine.
It's it basically, you set your 5-gallon bucket on it. It's a dust mop. It's a dust mop, and you just drag it. It's called. Let's see.
Have you ever used it before?
No, not that particular one. I worked with a guy that we did large stores, and he had one, but we didn't use it on the stuff we did. He was the one who did he did a 60-inch dust mop that we waxed with. It was insane. We would do the same idea down the aisles of the grocery store. We'd draw a bead of wax, and one of us would draw a bead of wax. The next guy would be behind with like a 60-inch dust mop waxing. So you're saying, if you stood back far enough, you're hitting 5 feet in one pass with that wax. But you had, that would kill you too, but you had to know what you're doing in order to do that.
Man, I don't know.
That being said, the flat mop would work. This other thing, I may have to get back with you on it because I cannot remember the name. It's made by Aztec. They make the Sidewinder.
Oh, the attachment, yeah.
No, Sidewinder is a propane stripping machine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's see here. I'll share my screen real quick. So I am going to have to dip out here in a few minutes, but so this is the Sidewinder.
Oh, that's why he didn't mention that.
Yeah.
12,500.
Yeah.
Oh man. If I waxed a lot, I would 100% buy this.
This Sidewinder is the grand finale. The Sidewinder is awesome. It is the best propane stripping machine that you will use because it has 3 brushes underneath it that counter rotate, and then the head itself rotates. So when you do one pass, you're basically doing 3 passes with it.
Man.
So
So how come you didn't mention this one? Is there a big con to it?
the Sidewinder or the grand finale?
The grand finale.
This is the biggest con I see is this. I mean, you got $3,600, you got to be doing a lot of waxing in order to justify that.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to say, even if you're at 12 cents a square foot, you're only at $9,000. So you'd burn up all your profit if you did this. And the biggest problem that I have with this is you have to do big areas to justify it.
Yeah. Well, it's 2 schools. But it's also for next year. So if I come across any other waxing jobs, I think I'll bite the bullet and bite it.
Well, I mean, if you've got the money, the biggest issue that we all fall into as business owners, let's be honest, is we see a new shiny machine. Absolutely, I need that. I can put it to work. And then you use it twice and you're like, I got to store this piece of shit. What the hell?
Oh man.
And I know Rod and Dom can definitely jump on that one, saying, yeah, that's definitely the case with a lot of
Oh man.
But I mean, if you're doing big square footage, then yeah, for sure. I mean, get something that helps you speed up your time.
Mm-hmm.
When I worked, we did grocery chain with the one guy I worked with. So the stores that we were doing were roughly 30,000 square feet. 3 of us strip and wax one night. He had a system in place, and we freaking flew. But I mean, there was a lot of work involved in doing that and having the right equipment too.
Yeah. So after, do you recommend like buying like a fan or something to kind of have it drying out as I go across?
So air movers always help. Always help with waxing, but when you're doing 90,000 square feet, it's not going to make any damn bit of difference.
It's gonna be dry by the time I come back to it.
By the time you circle back around, you're going to be like, I need a 5-minute break. It's let's see here. As far as supplies, Power Flight has good quality equipment that's not extremely expensive. I personally have 2 of these guys. I like the hybrids because you can set them multiple different ways.
That's cool.
And if you buy this one, the more expensive of the 2, you can daisy chain 4 of them together, right? So right here, you've got an extra plug. So you plug the next one into this one, and you can daisy chain up to 4 of them together that way.
Does it make the airflow stronger or something?
Well, you can cover more footage, right? So let's say I have 6 rooms or 4 rooms that I needed to be done, and the doors are 4, 5, 6 feet apart. I plug the one into the actual wall, and I plug the next one into the fan that's.
I see. Okay, that's pretty dope. I like that.
So then you've got your full length. You can stretch them out that way and do it. So ideally, that's. It's worth the extra money to do the daisy chain just in the event that you need it, or in the event you're like, dude, I don't have a plug close enough to plug this thing in. Now I got to go get an extension cord.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just my opinion, it's worth the extra little bit of money for that, because I've got one that doesn't have it and one that does. And the only reason I got one that doesn't have it is I got a sale that if I bought at the time I bought 2 backpacks, I got the fan for free. So I was like, yep, thank you. I will do that. But it didn't give me the option to upgrade to the nicer one. So I got the lower end fan and then I got the higher end fan.
Nice.
But and you can find other things cheaper than this. If you're like, dude, that's $294, that's ridiculous, then go find a squirrel tail. It's fine. The one nice thing about this is its size too. Like a squirrel tail fan is going to be 2 of these stacked on top of each other. As far as size, getting it in and out of your vehicle, it's better, in my opinion, too. But
Okay.
you can get a squirrel tail for cheaper than this. You could probably get one for maybe half the price, maybe a little bit more than that.
But if you got to buy 2, then it's the same.
You got to buy whatever you feel is necessary. You don't have to put an air mover on the floor to dry the wax. It just helps. That's the thing, is you're burning labor costs by waiting on wax to dry.
Right.
So
right.
if you're in smaller areas, you most certainly want to have air movers going so that the floor is drying quicker.
Yep. Makes sense. All right.
Well, I'm going to have to probably cut off here, guys. I've got to have an appointment. I've got to get to an appointment at 11:30, so I'm probably going to have to dip.
All right.
We got any more questions going on today that I can answer before I jump off of here?
No, that's it. For me, at least. Sorry for taking up most of the time.
Nah, man, that's what this all is about. Is you guys asking good questions? It's better than me just trying to put fluff and filler in here. People can actually watch this and get like, oh, dude, that's a great idea. Or how much wax is it going to take for me to wax? Right. So that's the other thing. If you're like, you know what, Josh, I like what you're saying, but I'm gonna figure out how much wax I'm actually going to use by myself. Super. You're going to use probably between 350 and 650 square footage per gallon. So if you want to do the math, if you're doing a string mop or you're doing a dust mop, you're going to use more wax than if you're using a flat mop. If you're using a flat mop, I can go probably 600 square feet, 4 coats, 1 gallon of wax. You're maybe half of that with the string mop. So, if you want to say, all right, it is 90,000 square feet, I'm going to figure out exactly how much wax I'm going to use so that I can look at the cost of the wax. Maybe I can buy it in bulk, drive that cost down so I can lower how much I'm going to charge per square foot to wax. Then you could most certainly go that route too on it.
So you said flat mop will cover about 5.
I'm usually about 600 square feet for 4 coats. So if I'm going to a strip job and it's 1,000 square feet, I'll bring 2 gallons of wax if I know I'm waxing. That's like the bare minimum. Let's say it's Friday afternoon. I forgot to get to my supply house and I'm running there and I'm like, oh shit, do I have enough wax? I'll be like, oh, that's 1,000 square feet. I got 2 gallons here. I'm good.
Okay, got it.
Now, obviously having more available is always a better idea than having not enough.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that, if you're saying, okay, I know I'm putting 4 coats of wax down on 90,000 square feet, I'm spending $150 for a pail, but I can get 55-gallon drum for half the cost, basically, as if I buy that many pails. If I buy 11 pails, it's going to cost me double as if I buy one 55-gallon drum. I've got the job. I am going to use it. Then you can drive your cost down significantly by buying bigger bulk.
Yep, definitely will have to go that route.
And that's the thing. You just need one bucket to pull from, and then you take that 55 and you just pump it out of there into whatever bucket you're using.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. Well, gentlemen, I will have to bounce, unfortunately, because I'm going to be late for my appointment otherwise.
Sounds good. I appreciate your help.
I appreciate you guys being on here. Obviously, you guys, need, you need a one-on-one. Just jump on the calendar, and we'll get you taken care of.
Yeah, I will do.
Good deal.
Have a good day.
Yep, you too, gentlemen. Thanks for coming in.
Sorry about taking up the time, man.